RMS calculations, we need to be able to identify the key parts of the waveform, which we've done previously. So here is the baseline, 0, and this is the amplitude, or the peak. A simple name for it is the maximum value. My pen's not working very well. So the maximum value. If this was a scale of 0 to 1, then RMS occurs at 0.7071 of the way up. So if we know the maximum value, we can find RMS by doing 0.7071 times the maximum voltage, or the maximum current, or the maximum power. So 0.7071 V max, or you would write 0.7071 I max or P max, whether you're dealing with voltage, current or power. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. Example 1. In example 1, the maximum current is 50 amps. Find the RMS current. Okay, so RMS is that. So RMS is 0.7071 Imax. Put the numbers in. So the maximum value we're saying is 50, and if you work that out, that's 35.35 from memory. So that's example 1. Let me do a second example. So in the second example, we're going to deal with voltage. So the RMS is 380 volts, and you've got to find the maximum. So write your formula. The RMS is 0.7071 V max, and it's V max that we have to find, so this is going to be transposed. You're going to move this under there. So V max equals, sorry about that, being distracted, equals the RMS over 0.7071. Put the numbers in. 380 over 7071, and that comes to 537.4. Okay, so this was actually part A of example 2. If we go to part B, still uses this number. So part B is about peak to peak. So very quick sketch. Peak to peak. And we know that this was 537.4. So the peak to peak, VP to P, peak to peak, is 2 times V max. 2 times 537.4 equals 1074.8 volts. Hope that comes out clearly. Running short of paper. So that was RMS. Let's have a look at average. So average values, we're going to follow exactly the same routine as we've just done. The only thing that changes is the numbers. So once again, here is the maximum. And the key figure for maximum for you to remember is 0.637. So the average value is 0.637 of Vmax or Imax or Pmax, whichever one we're dealing with. So 0.637. A quick pointer at this instant in time, RMS questions are much more likely to come up than average. It's been quite a long time since I've seen an average calculation appear in an exam. So let's whiz through and have a look at example 1. So in example 1, Vmax is 500 volts and you've got to find the average. So the average is 0.637 Vmax. Put your numbers in. And that comes to 318.5. Excuse me. So, quick look at example 2. Let me turn this over. So, example 2, and the numbers are different. We're saying that I have is 180 amps. So in part A, you're asked to find the maximum. So we write I have is 0.637 Imax. So we're now going to transpose to make Imax the subject, so that becomes I average, and the 0.637 goes underneath I average. Put your numbers in. And that's 282.6 amps. Part B, almost identical to what we did under the RMS questions. I think it asks for the peak to peak. So here's your waveform, and we've got 282.6. So peak to peak is that. So I peak to peak is 2 times Imax, 2 times 282.6, and that comes to 565.2 amps. Okay, so there's a couple of examples for you. You can complete all the bits on your handout. Let me just recap the key formulae. On the average one, this is the formula that goes in the box, and on the RMS one, that is the formula that goes in the box. Okay, work your way through the questions, and I'll catch you shortly.